As Sisters of St. Joseph, living in the 21st century, we believe in the power, presence, and love of God working through an evolving universe, and in God's self-communication through Jesus Christ. As women of the Church, we recommit ourselves to Jesus' mission as we move with the Spirit to bring about God's reign and seek to promote justice, to living lives of nonviolence, and to respond to the needs of our time. As bearers of God's inclusive love, we commit ourselves to the issues of justice. As followers of Jesus, who worked to eliminate boundaries and separateness, we resist attitudes and policies that alienate persons and communities. We believe that we have spheres of influence that can transform this reality, so we welcome the stranger and work toward systemic change.
Jesus, as the Gospels reveal him to me, is my teacher on my journey to act justly. I have an irresistible belief in the purpose of Jesus' life. His words, "I come that you may have life and have it to the full," are a compelling call to put on the mind of Christ as I live each day. Both alone and with others, I strive for awareness and change in our lives, urging ourselves to move from all personal and institutional relationships that dominate, divide, demean, or destroy others, toward relationships that bring inclusion, nonviolence, and the common good. The reason I work for social justice is due as much to my citizenship as it is to my baptismal and vowed promises to Christ. This nation's founding documents bring both inspiration and contradiction to my life. I cannot be silent or passive about my commitment to see us pursue the liberty and justice that we have pledged to the people of this nation and the world. Finally, the clearest encouragement to embrace the values and actions of a just person comes from sharing this commitment in community with others. There is nothing I would rather be than a sister of St. Joseph, as together we live out our desire to be bearers of justice and peace.
The natural world, God's beloved creation, reveals our interconnectedness and the unity of all things. We desire to deepen our awareness of the sacredness of the earth and our relationship with it. We avail ourselves of all opportunities to grow in this understanding and to act on it.
In creation, we see the primary revelation of God. All life has its beginnings in the heart of God, a heart that could no longer contain its love, and so it spills forth in an ever-expanding universe. This great love ignites the Spirit who breathes life, gives energy to our ever-evolving universe. The breath of life is what connects one to another. The air I breathe is breath for a sister or brother in the East. It gives life to the trees as the breath of trees gives life to you and me. Earth is our home, and we are part of a diverse community of life. The care of earth is a sacred trust. The poverty, the violence, the hunger is earth crying out for us to wake up to a sense of gratitude, wonder, and reverence. We are part of one sacred community, and as we become more conscious of this reality, we realize the expansiveness of our relationships.
Our common origin in God gives us equality with each other. We long to see this equality proclaimed and the dignity of all respected. We strive for a greater realization of this equality for women and girls so that their gifts will be developed and their voices heard.
Our Jesuit founder, Jean-Pierre Médaille, commissioned us in Le Puy, France, in the 17th century to seek out the vulnerable and minister to their needs. We, Sisters of St. Joseph, have always answered this challenge with our ministries to the poor, the oppressed, to those who have no voice. We have sought systematic change that will help to make the world reflect God's love for all. Our Ignatian Salesian roots require that we seek excellence tempered by gentleness. Throughout history, women and girls have been denied a voice, denied the equality that each of us has been given by God. The voices of women and girls have long been silenced and ignored. As a congregation of religious women, we have many opportunities and in fact a mandate to address this inequality. We strive to educate women so that their gifts will be developed and their voices heard. We believe that to educate a woman is to educate a family. To educate a woman is to educate a nation. History is filled with examples that demonstrate that educating a woman has a profound effect on society as a whole. The CSJ Education Mission Statement proclaims that the Sister of St. Joseph of Brentwood will seek to empower women and to form educational communities which will be committed to an inclusive love which recognizes the dignity of all persons, appreciative of the riches of our multicultural society, responsive to the principles of social justice, especially the needs of the poor and of women, faithful to nonviolence as a way of life, reverent and respectful of the earth and all creation. Intrinsic to the relational nature of each CSJ and all of our co-ministers is our deep desire and firm commitment to work for the realization of the values that we espouse.
At each stage of our lives, we are called to enter into the life and mission of the congregation as fully as we are able. We pledge to provide education for all our sisters regarding the aging process. We seek the expertise and experience of others so that loving care, comfort, and support will remain the mark of our presence to one another.
For years, sisters lived the Joseph charism of unity and reconciliation, reaching out to meet the needs of the dear neighbor in schools, parishes, social services, religious education, or wherever and however they are needed. Each sister puts all her love and energy into her ministry. However, there comes a time when a sister no longer has the physical and sometimes the mental capacity to be an active part of this endeavor. At our recent chapter, we came to the understanding that at this time in our congregational history, as we see so many of our sisters become older and more infirm, we are called to consider our sisters as the dear neighbor as well. We need to meet the very special needs of our aging and infirm sisters as they continue to live the charism in a new way. In addition to the Maria Regina residence, where full nursing care meets the needs of sisters who are very infirm, we now have 3 assisted living convents, where the sisters can receive the support they need to be as independent as possible. Besides the prayer and community that has always been part of our convent living, additional services to meet the physical, medical, social, and spiritual needs of the sisters have been added. We even have wonderful beauty parlor services. Perhaps a new ministry for us as Sisters of St. Joseph is witnessing to the world how the elderly person should be loved, respected, and cared for. Our elder sisters continue their lives as Sisters of St. Joseph. And we like to consider our assisted living convents as the powerhouses of prayer, as they continue to embrace the charism of the congregation and pray for the people of the neighborhood, the world, and the universe.